What's going on, everybody? Long time no see. Been a couple months now since the last video. Had a great time with my son over the summer, and been pretty busy since he went back home. Wanted to give you guys an update on the 45cc 43 millimeter bore Chinese chainsaw cylinder. Also, we've started working on the blue bike. Got the back tire built, got the sprocket on it, and getting everything ready for that so we can have something to put this on. I originally was using this spacer, but in order to get clearance on my cylinder, I had to stack these two gaskets. I was worried about compression, worried about it settling and making contact if it, through time, if it ran long enough. With this one, I was measuring 25 thousandths on my squish. I measured this out at pretty much a 1/4 inch. It was like 6.3 millimeters. I did the conversion on that, figured it was, right at a 1/4 inch. So I ended up at the scrapyard one day and found a sheet of aluminum to cut a spacer out of and measured it with a little square they had there, and it looked like it was a 1/4 inch, and ended up being a little bit bigger. That was 6'3". This is like 6'7", so it's a little bit thicker. So anyways, my squish ended up being quite a bit bigger with this, actually, so I'm thinking that this was compressed at the cylinder a lot more than it is when you just measure it out, if that makes sense. Because I went from 25 thousandth squish with this to like 1.4 millimeters with this spacer. I measured the squish on my stock YD100 with a head gasket at like 1.5 millimeters. So, I mean, even though it's still a pretty big squish, I think it's still going to work. I definitely feel better about this setup with the bolts into the inserts rather than just going into JB Weld. Also, I know it looks ridiculous, but I left this spacer big for cooling purposes. These things don't have very many fins on them at all. It's designed for a chainsaw, so forced air cooling. But anyways, hopefully the next time you guys see this, hopefully this motor will be completely put together and on the bike. We'll be ready to test it. And then I've already got an idea going on for version 3. Maybe you guys actually can help me out on that. I found a couple of these heads online. They were pretty cheap, so I went ahead and bought them. They're supposed to be for $66.80. My only issue is that the squish band measures out to like 42 millimeters. Now on this one, I went in with my Dremel and widened it out just a little bit for this 43 millimeter piston to fit. But the head gaskets they came with are 49 millimeters across. When you put it onto the head, there's a big flat before the squish band. So is this normal for these heads, or is that just why I got them so cheap? Was it some kind of milling mistake? In my mind, the squish band, the edge of the squish band should start, the edge of that squish band should start and basically be where the opening on the head gasket is. This is my first set of aftermarket heads, so I'm unsure. So again, maybe you guys can help me on that squish band measurement. I'm like right at 42 and a half on these, on both of them, but it's a 6680 bolt pattern. So tell me what you guys think, what your experience is. I know most of you have a lot more knowledge and experience with these things than I do. I just feel like that squish band should match this gasket, and it doesn't, but it kind of worked out because on this project I have a 43 millimeter piston, and I think it's going to work good for this. So like I said, we're going to go ahead and test it out the way it is, with the new spacer and the cylinder that I ported. This was the new cylinder, and I ended up chopping the top on it, and so version 3 will be we'll be running it like that more than likely. But let me know what you guys think on this head measurement. So we will be going back with the G2 and see how it performs. So nothing spectacular here, just kind of wanted to pop in, give you an update, and ask about this head, because I don't feel like that measurement on that squish band is right. I feel like that's why I got them so cheap, because of some kind of milling mistake or something. So anyways, yeah, hopefully we'll have this on a bike and be able to fire it up and run it, test it on this next go around and see where we're at with it. And then V3 with the chop top. All right, see you guys soon.